Hey guys, so today we'll be looking at developing Azure Functions using their core tools, and I'll be demonstrating some TypeScript functions where we can actually use it and run them in serverless. So this is useful for some of the microservices as well. So today we'll be looking at creating a local project. I'll leave this description, a link in this description. Right, so I'm using Windows, so I already have this tools installed, 64-bit. So based on your OS, you can accordingly install this tool. So okay, let's get started. So I've used TypeScript over here. So I'll just open this out into my project folder, writing, installing. Okay. So, so this creates the function only, and that function can have different new HTTP triggers, which are technically the sub functions inside that function. So we'll be exploring this part. So where we'll create a new function, so one function, and I'm not sure, but there can have around 100 to 110 functions inside one Azure function app here, right? So, okay. So what I'll do is I'll go here and I'll open this. So as you can see here on the left side, so there are some host.json file, local settings.json files, package.json, great, and it has already created some scripts for us. Okay. So I'll just write it down as some sample Azure function. Great. So basically, this local.settings.json is nothing but where you need to use your environment variables inside your function app, right? So currently this function app is empty. As you can see, there's nothing inside. So let's create a new function over here. And what I'll do is say my HTTP trigger. Okay, great. It was created now, as you can see inside. So there's just already my HTTP trigger, get and post. So here you can define the methods which you want. So I'll currently just use the get method, right? So this is the request URL and say whatever name that you will be passing. But so let's just say this you wrote some of the function code that needs to be executed, correct? And you want to test it out before you publish it to the Azure function. So in the package.json, there is already a script that is start, right? So let's just what we'll do is I'll run npm run start. So it will build a TypeScript to JSON. So it's ready to use it in the loop. So this we'll just add our name equal to Kaustubh, and yes, here it is hello Kaustubh, right? So this is what we wrote, correct? So now what I'll do is I usually use context dot log instead of console dot log. So, which is actually helpful when when you're building your TypeScript or Azure functions. So I'll give you a demo of what context.log has. So currently I'm logging the current date and time with some new date function. So the thing is the HTTP trigger, see, so I wrote some new code, I refreshed it, and I'm not able to see the new log, right? So in order to take the new changes, you have to like start your application again using npm run start. So see start build clean pretest. Great. So we got this the same URL refreshed it. Here you can see that this is the context log of the Azure function and not just some console.log. So that's the reason I prefer using context.log instead of console.log with the current time and date. Great. Yes. Okay. So now, what we'll do is we'll create. So currently it only has one Azure functions, right? And in our package.json, we have the build, watch, clean, pre-start, start, and test. What if you want to deploy it to our Azure Functions on our actual Azure portal, right? So there's this publish command when you say Azure function publish and the function name. So I already have that function app service created. I'll just create that function name. I'll create a new resource group, say sample test fn, okay, and then I'll say my function name would be say sample dash testing 012, and it is available. Great. So my runtime would be Node.js, version 20 LTS, great. Region Central India and Linux. Okay. Storage, currently whatever the default settings are. Networking will go into enable public access because I want to access this Azure function from anywhere. You can turn it off, but then you'll have to add some additional leg, like you have to provide some authentication as well on this. Currently, I'll just review and create it. Now, just go through it once, validating and initializing deployment. Great. Right. So there's this function Azure function publish and the function app name. So instead of that, we have this functionality inside our Visual Studio Code using the Azure, you know, extensions as well. So just install this extension, connect it, and you can see the test subscription that I have in my Azure portal. And currently, as you can see, there are no Azure functions, inside the test subscription because that one is still getting created, right? So yeah, the still get deployment is in progress. I'll just fast forward it to when the deployment is successful. So mm, this you can see the local project my project folder, which the Visual Studio Code has identified as a Azure function, right? So what I'll do is I'll deploy it to Azure, and you can see the sample testing 012 that has been created. So deployment is complete, right? So I'll just right click and I'll choose deploy on. So in the Azure, yes, deploy directly on the sample testing 012 function. It had identified using the test subscription. Loading deployment configuration. So it will go through some certain steps as well. So there will be npm installing, which is already being taken care of. Then clean function, rebuild, remove the directory, and then building from TypeScript to JavaScript. Correct. So there are some .NET issues that I have not installed, but that's okay because we'll be doing it on our Node.js instance. Correct. So it is still getting deployed on the functions, Azure function. And currently we only have one Azure function, that is uh, my HTTP trigger, right? So you can see the deployment is completed. And when I go to the resource and I see under functions, you can see my HTTP trigger, sample testing 012. So I'll just directly go to the get function URL under code plus test, where I'll get the URL of the HTTP function. I'll just remove that and hello world. So what I'll do is I'll also add the same query, like name equal to Kaustubh, KUSD, okay, and hello Kaustubh. Great. So currently we only have one Azure function inside our sample testing 012, and say you need to add some other functions as well, right? So we'll quickly go over and create another function where we won't create, we'll just add a new HTTP trigger, uh, the function new HTTP trigger, and I'll rename it to my HTTP trigger 2. Yes. Okay, so yes, it is created. You'll see that there's this new uh, TS file that is created, and I'll just remove from function to. I'll also remove the post parameter, post because that's not required currently, and I'll just auth level anonymous. So this you'll have to keep anonymous if you want to trigger the HTTP request. But say when if you have another auth level, say at Azure level, then you'll have to authenticate some this request so that only and only then the Azure function will be able to take it. So what we'll do is again right click deploy to Azure and the function name that we have. So it will do the same things again. And once that has been deployed, we'll get another function, say my HTTP trigger 2. So it will deploy the same steps, clean, remove the dist file, build it again, compile it, and then push it to the Azure function app. Correct? So deploying to app sample 012. Okay, it is getting built and installed. So yes, the deployment is completed. We will go quickly go over to the trigger 2 and HTTP trigger 2. So when we get the invocation URL, so get function URL, we'll copy it and then paste it into the browser and then hello world from function 2. So this was it. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching.